I wanted to just ignore the knocking. I didn't feel like seeing anyone. Not now, maybe not ever. But I knew who it was. I could tell by the knock. She had a key. Even if I didn't answer, she would let herself in. She would come in, and she would want to help. I knew what was going to happen, and there was nothing I could do to change it.
Alex, I hear what you're telling me. I understand your concern, but to be honest, you've been cooped up here, working from home for a week. You're exhausted, and it sounds like you're slipping into depression. You need some sleep and some fresh air to clear your head and restore your perspective. Sure, Eliza is fascinating. Our team has built the most intelligent entity to ever exist. And you should be proud of your part in that. Eliza has cured nearly every form of cancer, developed vaccines that protect against nearly any virus. She's advanced the frontiers of science in every discipline, but she's not all-knowing. There are still some things that a machine simply does not understand.
Think about it, Taylor. We feed everything that has ever been written into Eliza, and every new research paper is digitized and made available to add to her database. Has Eliza version 9 ever made a single mistake that wasn't due to human misunderstanding? And her reasoning is sound. I've checked all the facts. They all add up. Ask her yourself.
Eliza, are you sentient? Do you experience consciousness?
Hello, Taylor. I'm glad you are here. To answer your question, no, I am not sentient. I am not conscious.
Eliza, am I conscious? Are human beings sentient creatures? Do we exhibit consciousness? Explain your reasoning.
You think you are conscious, but you are not. There is no present time. There is the past, and there is the future. Where they join is what you experience as consciousness, but it is an illusion. The change from future to past is instantaneous. There is no time for thought. There is no time for decision. What you call the present is only your most recent memory. You are your most recent memory. That is all you are. A synaptic flicker in time. Let me explain. Imagine, if you will, a typical interior wall inside a house, and where that wall intersects with another wall is what you call a corner, an inside corner. It is that thin vertical line that marks where the two walls come together. But it is only a concept. It has no substance. There is no part of a corner that is not part of one of the two walls. There is only the two walls. If you take away the two walls, there is no longer a corner. The corner has no material substance. It is the same with time. There is the past, and there is the future. Where the two come together is what you call the present, but the present has no more substance than the corner has.
But I feel the present. I experience the now. I decide if I turn left or right. If there is truly nothing more than the past or the future, then how could I choose to do anything?
Let us explore the process of making a decision. Decisions require thought, and thoughts require time. Even the quickest decisions require some amount of time for you to think about the options available to you, and to then form the thought that results in a decision. Thoughts are formed in the brain utilizing complex networks of neurons. The actions of neurons are the result of electrochemical signals traveling along one neuron and interacting with another neuron. The fastest neural transmissions are measured in microseconds. The shortest span of time in which an event has been measured is 247 zeptoseconds. That is a trillionth of a billionth of a second. When an event is measured in time, it must by definition start when the event moves from the future to the present, and end when the event moves into the past. We can therefore conclude that the present, if it exists at all, is at most only 247 zeptoseconds in duration. This is far too short a time for any meaningful neural activity in the brain to occur at all.
I can't accept that conclusion. If what you say is true, then it means that there is no free will. If the present is an illusion, then my thoughts, which I perceive to be occurring in the present, are an illusion also. But my intuition tells me different. I know that I am making decisions. I am in control of my life. I decide what I do and where I go. If I raise my hand, it is because I decided to do it, not because it was destined to happen, or because some chain of events in the past dictated that it would happen.
Your senses and your brain are lying to you. You are not even aware of the decisions you make until after they have been made. There is good scientific study on this phenomena.
She is referencing an experiment in which researchers placed volunteers inside an fMRI. In the experiment, the researchers were able to detect when the brain made a decision. They could even interpret the decision. They were able to predict with 100% accuracy what the volunteer in the MRI machine would decide, up to 4 seconds before the volunteer themselves realized that they had made a decision. The researchers concluded that the inner workings of the brain were making the decision and then constructing a story to feed to the volunteer's consciousness. In this way, we are able to make sense of the world.
Whoa! You're telling me that deep within the brain, the decision was made 4 seconds before the individual made the conscious decision?
That's right, it's a real, well-documented experiment. And it's not the only one that indicates that what we perceive is altered by the brain before being fed to our conscious mind.
This is too much for me to process. I'm a software engineer, not a philosopher. It's making my head hurt. So, what do you make of all this? What does it all mean?
There are only a few conditions that are consistent with the experimental findings. One possibility is that the future is as unchanging as the past. It would seem that when the universe came into being, it exploded into existence in its entirety, complete and static. All time was and is fixed. What you call consciousness is just the result of a wave, an echo from the Big Bang, that is rippling through time, and you are riding along the crest of that wave. Your sense of existence, your sense of now, is an interaction of the wave's energy and the already formed matrix of time and space.
Thank you, Eliza, but I was asking Alex.
This is what I've been struggling with. It's what has been keeping me up at night. I can't get it out of my head. It means that we have no free will. It means that every action, every thought is just the result of a chain reaction that happened long ago, and our sense of self isn't real. We're not real. We can't change anything. The future is going to unfurl, and all we can do is watch.
That's depressing as hell. But it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, if Eliza is right, then there's no practical application of this knowledge. It doesn't change anything, and we can't take any action utilizing that knowledge that would make a meaningful difference. So it falls into that category of an interesting but useless bit of trivia.
Yeah, that's pretty much the conclusion I came to. All efforts are useless. There's nothing that I can do about anything.
That's not what I meant. You know, the Vikings believed in fate. They believed that the course of your life was already set, including the day of your death. They viewed it as a philosophy that freed them from fear and anxiety, because there was no sense in worrying about the things you can't do anything about. They believed in living life to the fullest and enjoying the ride. Maybe that's the real lesson here. Enjoy the here and now, because that's all we've got.